Well, right. Because do you have your own dispensary right now?
Yep.
Okay. And the name of it is?
Yeah. And I brought you some samples, but you ain't here, man.
Okay. No, they'll give it to me.
You sure they're gonna give it to you? They ain't gonna smoke it up.
They're not going to smoke it up.
You know how they
man.
are about this weed. Well, I bought you a couple jars of my brand that are new strains that we just came out with. The guys over at Green Dragon hooked me up with some new strains that they fire too.
Okay, so you have your own strains, but you have your own retail store?
Yep.
Okay, where's it at?
You ain't been out there, man. Sun Valley. I told you to come see me.
I'm gonna come see you. Where's it at?
Huh?
Well, where's it at?
Sun Valley.
Sun Valley.
Yeah.
Okay. When I get back into town, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna pull up.
All right.
Okay. How hard was it to actually get a license to open a dispensary? Because I heard it's getting harder and harder.
Well, it was tough. It took almost 7 years from the day that I decided that I want a license. We had to get the city to first agree that convicted felons could be allowed. Because, at first, when they first did it, they didn't want convicted felons to even be allowed to be in the marijuana business. Mm-hmm. So we had to get them to go from there to saying, okay, we're going to allow you guys to not only be in the business, but have a license. So it took a lot of marching, going down to City Hall. Took about 7 years.
Okay.
And a few $100,000.
Okay. So you spent a couple $100,000, but you legally opened your own dispensary.
Yep.
How did it feel to go from selling drugs completely illegally, looking over your shoulder, wondering when your door will get kicked down and you're going to go to prison forever, to actually having a real store that's selling marijuana that used to be illegal when you and I were kids and paying taxes and everything else like that for it?
Unreal. I never, if somebody would have told me when I was in jail, when I got out that I'd be in the marijuana business, I would have been like, nah, I don't think so. It was the last thing on my mind to get into the marijuana business, and now it's just amazing, that I'm in there.
Well, but the marijuana business is very crowded right now. So, for example, Gilbert Arenas, who was a regular guest on my show, I remember years ago, he had purchased a bunch of land where he was growing marijuana that he was selling to dispensaries and so forth. And I remember I talked to him about this, I don't know, maybe earlier this year. And he basically said how that part of the business is really messed up because the Armenians came in and just started undercutting everybody and creating situations where it wasn't profitable because they were selling at a loss in order to get market share. True. Do you see this happening?
Yep, absolutely. Pounds that we used to pay $3,200 for, you can get them now for $1,000, and we're talking about in less than 3 years.
It went from $3,200 to $1,000, so less than a third.
Yeah, in less than 2 years.
That's crazy.
And I don't think it's at the bottom yet. A lot of guys just selling weed right now. The growers are just selling weed to pay their light bill, hoping that we get a bounce back.
Okay, but you're not actually growing. You're retailing.
Nah, I was doing a grow, and somebody broke into my building and stole all my carpet out, and threw my grow to a spin. But yeah, I was getting ready to do a grow.
Okay. Do you have any idea who actually broke in?
Some homeless people.
Oh.
It was a homeless camp. It's a homeless camp right behind the building. It was like 2,000 people there. So, they probably found, they saw us over there working. Because the building had been sitting for a long time, but they probably saw us over there working and figured we had tools or whatever over there, and they went in there to get them, I guess. But anyway, they took all the plumbing, all the electricity out of the building and messed me up. That was my biggest loss since I've been home.
How much money do you think you lost in that one incident?
$700,000.
$700,000.
Yeah.
I mean, but didn't you have insurance to cover some of that?
We going through that right now with the landlord.
Uh-huh.
I was paying insurance, but the way the deal was set up, that the insurance was in his name. So he collected the money, fixed the building and evicted me out of the building without taking me to court.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we going through that right now with the courts.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, that was my fortune. You know, that building would have made, well, at that time, when I first got the building, it would have made about $3 million a month.
But you didn't own the building.
I was buying the building. I was leasing with the option to buy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then when that happened, that derailed everything.
Yeah. You know, by me being so tied into the business, you know, I know who's doing bad in the business. So I knew these guys, these Wall Street guys that came in with about $45 million, and they just started buying stuff up, not really knowing what they was doing. And they bought these 3 buildings, and the building that I got from was the smallest one. When the first building didn't work out, they said wasn't no sense in building the other 2 out, so they wanted to get rid of them. And I told them that I would take the small one.
But then that happened.
Yeah. So now I'm just waiting on another opportunity now, because people gonna be bailing out in a minute,